Hello, fearless educators. This is Christy Novak, and I am here to talk about all things GAF related or Google Apps for Education related that might prove useful for you, your coworkers, or your students. So in previous screencasts, we talked about the Chrome browser front page. We also talked about the difference between apps and extensions, and now we are going to be talking about our actual Google Drive. So after I'm logged in, I will access the square grid, and this is where I can get into my drive. So you can go directly to other places, but let's just start here first. I like to call this kind of my hub of all things Google or all things related to my drive. This is kind of like, right, that landing page or area. So for example, when you first come in here, this is what you might see. This is basically any of the folders or files that you have already created. If you're brand new to Google, you will have nothing in here and you will generate material as well. I wanted to show you, I clicked the information closed, but I wanted to just show you that you can look at this as a visual, like as folders, or if you would rather look at this as a list view. Some people prefer it this way. This could be an easier way for you. A lot of people like lists. I tend to like looking at things in folders because that's just what I prefer. So you have that option, as do your students, to look at it two different ways. If you want to sort information or material a certain way, this can be helpful if you're in list and say you're looking for something. It's a one way to kind of search basically. What did I last modify? What did I last work on? That type of thing. So that is another way that you can kind of search and look for things or organize. So I'll go back here as well. Information. I find this useful and I tend to leave this open all the time. You don't have to. It basically shows you what you've recently been working on or people that are connected to a document or a file in your account have been working on. As you know, it's a very collaborative tool. So this is something that I can just say, oh wait, I want to access here, I want to go to my dreams, or I want to go to here for my gamification slides. Or what I can do is if I want to look for something else, I can specifically click on a folder that exists and it will show me specifically the last things that I've worked on in that particular folder. So those are two different ways you can again organize or look for information in Google Drive. I wanted to also point out you have a details. If I clicked on a details, it'll just tell me some information about it. I really do not use this very much, but this could be useful for you to know about that you're sharing or not, but there are easier ways to know that. So going back here, you might have also noticed that I have colored folders. So I'm a big color coding kind of gal, and this is something that you can do as well. The way that I've been using it is, if it's related, right? If I have related folders, I will make them the same color. That's just my thing. The control button on a Mac anyway is your friend. So it would be right click with a PC. When you do this, you get a whole bunch of different options that are also, in other places in your Google Drive. So that's a very fast and efficient way for you or your students to access certain things. But I did want to show you change color, and this is where I was able to do that. I was able to make it a different color. I can add stars, etc., etc. So I just wanted to point that out. Other features about basically your Google Drive, just general, to look at is this is your little settings button, which is off on the right hand side. This has a couple of things. So if you're stuck, you're not sure how to do something, you can access Google Help right away here. Keyboard shortcuts, great to show children, students, other coworkers, for yourself. Very useful to learn at least of the basic keyboard shortcuts for efficiency. And then you can also do other settings here as well. Going over here, so this is my main drive, and you have a big shiny red button. It says new. It used to say create, now it says new, because Google likes to update things. So this is where, if I wanted to make a new folder, I wanted to make a new file, or upload anything like that, I can do so here. If I click the more button, you can see the other apps, Google apps that are part of this Google Drive. So how do you make a new folder? They always ask you to rename it. Friendly tip, always rename your stuff right away. So this will be just practice. And I say create, and it'll show up, voila, in here. Other features that I wanted to also show you is the shared with me button. So this is when your colleagues or your students share something with you in particular. Okay, so if you're looking for something and it's not, because it's not necessarily in your drive yet, you would go here first, they shared it with you, and you would click on it, and then if I double clicked on it, it would say open in my drive. Once you do that, it now lives in your drive. So that's a way that you can transfer and share information or find something as well. Google Photos is basically Picasso they have bought. And this is a separate kind of drive that you can add your photos to. You can have your photos in your main drive as well, but that's just another option. Recent, I find this very useful because I work on so many documents throughout the day that sometimes it's just easier for me to go to the recent button and scroll that way and find what I was working on. And then lastly, again, just a way that you can sort or say something's important, but also then you have trash. You would just click on something and you would simply press remove. You could also use the control button as well to press remove. So this is the general, as far as general kind of overview of the aspects of this page. In next screencast, we'll get more into some of the specifics that are related to the Google Apps, and also talk about what add-ons are.